I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time, 'cause when you're standing oh so near, I kinda lose my mind. It's not the perfume that you wear, it's not the ribbons in your hair. And I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time.
Yeah, what you see me doing is sanding this bumper. Now I know a lot of things I am doing are wrong, I could be doing this with like a mini DA 320, or just my regular DA, but my regular DA is at work. Using a jitterbug, and yeah, I know I'm putting it up on its side and shit, digging out the chips, but you know, not too worried about it. And yeah, this car was a very nice, beautiful friggin' dark red before the last owner put a pretty half-assed paint job over it. And then I put an even half-asser paint job. It looked better than, yeah. And it sucks too is when something's not prepped right. Like I can obviously, you know, tell that they didn't scuff it in between. And when you're always trying to feather out paint that's peeling up, it just breaks off and doesn't really smooth out, and it cakes and balls up on the paper, and then you got nothing. So I'm doing this here. I'm just gonna blend the bumper. I'm not gonna go like up above in the here. I'm gonna try and keep my break point like right here, and so I don't have to worry about it because there's no damage up there. It's just this right here. So I'm gonna like scuff it, and this is a really half-assed way to do it, but you know what? It's just my A to B car. I mean, it's fast and fun, and it's nice and it's beautiful, but it's not beautiful. It's fucking ugly. But you know, I built it. But anyway, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna primer this here from, probably put primer to about here to here, like surfacer. Put like 3 full coats on, and let it dry off, wet sand it with some 600, and then when I go to paint, I'm gonna have my paint go to this edge to like here maybe, depending how it blends. Like I'll tape this off and all and have it covered up. Alright, now I'm gonna start scuffing the bumper. I'm gonna use a red scuff pad. This is a pretty worn down one, so it's like, you know, it's not that aggressive. These come in colors, you'll see them. The red is the most aggressive. It's like, it goes in like grits of sandpaper. I think the red's like 220, 320. It's most aggressive, but this has been used maybe, I don't know how many times I've used it, you know, a lot. So it's pretty beaten. There's gray. Gray is like 800. You can use it for when you go to do a panel blend. This feels like what a gray scuff pad feels like right now. They got the gray and then the gold. The gold you can use for clear coats, like if you let some base sit and you gotta scuff it, you can hit it with a gray scuff pad and they make a white. And then the gold. Now, one thing they do make too that you can use with a scuff pad, it's called 3M Scuff It. It's a sanding soap, and it works really nice because it'll actually clean the panel as you use it. I wish I had some right now because this is pretty dirty. Even though I washed it with soap and water like a few times, I had to get some let some glass cleaner sit on it, might kind of clean it up a little bit better. You make sure you have a nice liberal scratch. I mean, even though there's no gloss on this car, it's just a base coat. You know, you still want something for the new base coat to bite into. One thing that the scuff pad is great for too is edges, like in corners and all. Like if you got clear coat, like let's say you're setting this bumper up for blending, and like the color's the primer is from, like I said, here to here. So you hit that with a 400, 600, then do the whole bumper with 800, and then the little cracks and all, you get your scuff pad where clear still is, and you get that, because those are going to be the first areas that peel on anything, you know. Don't use your fingers. So, I really got it good enough right now to where everything will bite into it. So, I'll come back and I'll show you how to clean this off and get it ready for primer. Now, when I set up a panel for primer, I don't like to use any solvents on it. The two things I'll use is either a glass cleaner or alcohol, because it evaporates easier. I don't like to use wax and grease remover or anything of that. You know, keeps the panel clean, it dries off nice. Don't use really one of these towels, you want to use something with not as much lint. You get a tack rag to wipe it off. So now, get it ready for primer. Now you're looking at me weird right now because, Mike, you're painting out the snow. For it being January 1st in Pennsylvania, it's actually like 50-something degrees out. I'm not even really that cold. So I'm going to get my heat gun and actually warm it up and I'll warm up the primer and lay it down. So I'll come back and I'll show you. So I warmed up the panel with my heat gun on a low setting. I also warmed up this can of primer with this SEM Odd Bell Primer Surfacer. You know, I've had so many people say that this shit will peel on you. Use it on base coat. Or use it and then try to put a base coat over it. I have never had it peel on me, and I've done it like 3 out of the 4 cars that I use this stuff on. I haven't seen any problems. 2 of them I see pretty much every day. Actually, 3 of them I see pretty much every day. One of them is a relative of mine. His truck, he bought a F350 dually and the fiberglass wheel tub had some damage on it. I used this. I had to repair the fiberglass, put a new piece on. When I went to go put over my bodywork, I used this, put 3 coats on there, and then wet sanded it with some 600, and then put base and clear, and no problems. Another one was my friend's Trans Am, if you go back about 15-20 videos maybe, when I did his ground effect, when it broke into like 3 pieces. I put 3 coats of this on, let it dry overnight, came back, hit that with some 400, and then put a single stage on it, no problems whatsoever. Now when you do your coats of primer, the recommended is 2 to 3 coats, like I said. You want to have them from the outside here to here, and bring them in each point. And the 3rd coat would pretty much be the bodywork itself. Now one thing I could do is I could wet on wet this, but I won't. For reasons is I don't like it that you let something sit for 2 minutes. I don't even recommend flash time. And slam color on it, then slam clear on it. You're trapping the solvents that are trying to dry from the out, and then that'll cause it to lift. So what I do is I let it thoroughly dry, and I come back, sand it. Now I'm not going to put sealer over this, but I don't have any white sealer, so I'm just going to go straight to base coat. Any burn throughs I'm going to, Alright, now once your primer's dry, usually for somebody else to do, so it would take them a whole 24 hours. I just let mine force dry with the heat gun. So I fluttered a little bit of guide coat on there, and now I'm going to wet sand this with some 400. 2 things here, 400 grit, sanding pad, the squeegee. I only need, I like to wet sand my primer work, because it's a lot nicer to do. You just use some water on the surface, nothing else. Usually I just get a bucket, but this is just a quickie. Now the reason you put the guide coat down is the surface here does come out a little bit rough. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that all that roughness is gone. And check with your hand or use the guide coat to show you. Also the guide coat will show you any highs or lows or anything of that nature. Usually do this like 400-600. This is just gonna chase it to 400, and I'll be able to spray my color. The sand will pretty much all the guide coat's gone. Like you can see, it's disappearing now. My squeegee. Dried. Check the panel. It's looking pretty clean. Get all this overspray off. Wet your paper and the surface liberally. Good looking. Alright, and if you're letting your squeegee sit on the ground like I do, take it with your pant leg or a towel, wipe it off so you don't drag any rocks or dirt across it. Now it's the second coat, and I'm just doing this in light coats until it basically blends into the panel. I'm not like, see what I'm doing is, when I paint, is I'm not just starting at the panel and pulling the trigger, because there'll be like a break mark you'll see there. I like pull the trigger before I go to paint, and then just pull it in, and then wait, push it out, bring it back in, and do it again. Now I can only see the primer a little bit. This camera doesn't show how eyes do it, so I can only just see a little bit of gray. Probably after this third coat, it's gonna look great. So I'll be done and show you third coat, unmasked, untaped, how it looks. So there's the bumper after 3 full coats. Now, if this was a real car, I would actually like set the whole bump. I'd actually take this whole bumper off, and I'd be removing the taillights. Even though it's a bitch to do, I would still take this whole bumper off. I'd still do my repair, primer it, all that, and then I would actually hit it with a white sealer. Probably the sealer I would let go to about here, and then I would base it, do the base coat, same distance, a little bit past like I would do the sealer. Probably here the base would go a little bit, sealer would go to here. Sealer go here, and then base to about there, and make sure it blends in right, and then put lay down like 2 coats of base, and then 3 of clear, and then just match it to the factory orange peel. So there you go, it's blended perfect. This is just a, if you don't really have like a shitload of money to spend on your car for a paint job, this is, or you just want to blow in a spot, this is a perfect thing to do. Okay, really recommend that you do it in a spray booth, but I don't have a spray booth in my driveway, so it's nice to have a video not in the shop today, but it sucks too. So there you go, guys, I'm all done now.